What do you think about marriage?
Marriage is servitude. Marriage is patriarchy. As a young girl, when you turn 7 or 8, when they can use different chores, imperation, or that servitude, you don't see them teaching the men this. Have you noticed that when a man makes it in life, who does it thank more? His mom for her sacrifices. Because they see the way their mothers suffer. And then instead of them to want better for their wives, they want their wife to suffer the same thing.
Welcome to Dr. Toves Corner. Welcome to another episode of Scatteryan. To scatteryan means to articulate thoughts that are all over the place. And in this episode, we will be scatteryanning about marriage, the dynamics of gender role in relationships, etc. I'm your guy, Toves, and I've got a special guest with me today. Make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, follow the podcast. Please join me and welcome my guest today. Oma, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm doing okay.
Thank you for joining us. It's going to be a brilliant show. So in your own opinion, or based on your perspective, what do you think about marriage? What do you think is the purpose of marriage? And in your own estimation, is marriage being done wrongly, or is there something that needs to improve?
Marriage means a lot of different things to different people. But to me, marriage is servitude. Marriage is societal pressure. Marriage is expectation. Marriage is a patriarchy. Marriage is a transaction that women go into at a deficit from the get-go. That's
Okay,
how I see marriage.
right.
So from your other question about whether it's being done wrong, yes, I think it is done wrong. And
okay.
there are a lot of things that need to be changed.
Okay. So
Okay.
before we go into it, let's start from the point of view of servitude. Why do you think marriage is servitude?
As a young girl, when you turn 7 or 8,
Mm-hmm.
you start hearing you have to learn how to do this because you have to take care of the home. Is this how you're going to take care of your husband? Is this how you're going to keep your home? You start hearing it early on.
Really?
And then they keep use different chores in preparation
Yeah.
for that servitude. You don't see them teaching the men this. I have 2 brothers. I grew up with a lot of cousins in my house. There was not a time when they said, go and do this because you're supposed to learn how to be a good husband.
Mm-hmm.
But they tell the women, you are supposed to learn how to cook. Is this how you're going to cook for your husband?
Mm.
You know that in my tradition, in my village, and many other traditions in Nigeria, when a woman gets married traditionally, the parents have to buy kitchen materials like pots for the woman
Mm-hmm.
so that she used to take care of her husband and her house when she goes in.
Yeah.
That's it. It's already in the definition of marriage, in the way we see marriage.
Mm.
The woman is supposed to serve.
So are you basically suggesting that men are not trained on how to be married, but women are trained on how to be married? That's what I'm kind of picking up from your explanation so far.
I'm not suggesting it, I'm stating it outright, yes.
Oh, okay.
We teach men to be good husbands. We teach women to be good servants to these men that were husbands.
Okay. So when you say they teach men to be good husbands, what do you mean by that?
Like, for example,
Mm-hmm.
when you go for a wedding and the pastor is preaching about marriage
Mm-hmm.
to the couple,
Yeah.
they focus on the wife's submission.
Mm-hmm.
They don't read further down. Most pastors, I've not heard it. They don't read further down about men loving their wives
Mm-hmm.
as Christ loved the church, which is the example men are supposed to follow. And what does Christ's love to the church mean? Sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
They really don't hammer on that. I'm starting from that point. I've heard a pastor say this to a man in Wales counseling. You know how women can be. You have to be patient with the woman, even if she's emotional and stuff like that. Look at the words coming from a man of God that is trying to counsel. So he's saying the woman is at fault, she's emotional. So you have to, he's not saying you should love your wife. That's not what they teach. They don't tell men that you're supposed to protect your wife, you're supposed to protect your family, you're supposed to take care of your home. No, nobody tells the man that. They'll just say, boys will be boys, he's a man. It's not something they talk about. There's something I've seen recently online, but this is not in African context, but I think it applies. A lot of African women, Black American women, say that their mothers love the boys and raise their daughters. They love their sons and raise their daughters.
Yeah.
So the daughters don't feel that love. Even if you're the younger sibling, as far as you're the woman, you are expected to take the motherly role in the house.
And you think they don't tell men to take the fatherly
It's what I
role
don't think.
or
I know
to
this.
protect?
No, they don't. I
Okay.
know this. It's not about thinking. I know this. This is the experience of a lot of women. I was 15 years old taking care of my siblings because I'm a woman.
Yes.
My brothers watch TV. And I'm not saying my parents did not raise my brothers,
Yeah.
but they did the best they could from what they know.
Yeah. So basically, you're saying women are
So,
better prepared for marriage than men because they tell women take care of the family, cook for the house, but that's not the case for men. Now, as a man, I would disagree because I was raised differently. I was told to I'm the oldest, so obviously I was taking care of everyone. I still take care of people now. Same with my dad. My dad is the oldest, taking care of everyone. You can say maybe most men. You can say most. You can't say all because I'm an example. My dad is an example. We cook. My dad cooked when I was growing up. I still cook till now, and so do my brothers. So I don't know if we can really just generalize, but we can say most or some. But because you say you know this for a fact, but as a man, I also know this for a fact that we're told to protect, to love, to care, to cherish our wives. You know, maybe it's not
uh,
maybe it's not spoken out in public, but at the end of the day, females who always want to tell their sons how to be better men, how to be better boys, how to be better males. But if the mothers or if their parents do not do that role, then like you said, society in general is not going to mention that to the male. So I agree partially, but also disagree at the same time.
okay, to your point here,
Mm-hmm.
you are the exception. There are not a lot of men out there that had your upbringing.
Yeah, I
So when
agree.
I'm giving you examples. I'm talking
Yeah,
about African American women. They're not even in Nigeria. I was
yeah,
raised in Nigeria.
yeah.
So people in America are having the same experience about men. I've spoken to a few people here in the UK. They're having
Yeah.
the same experience about how men are raised,
Mm-hmm.
different from how the women are raised. If you
Yeah.
talk about like one of my best friends now here is an Indian lady.
Mm-hmm.
She has the same experience. That's in Asia. You understand? So I'm not
Yes.
saying every single male was not
Yes.
raised to care,
Yeah.
but there are very few exceptions to this rule.
Yes. That's what I want to establish, that you're not just saying everyone
Oh
there is
yeah,
no men at all. I just want to establish
no,
that, yeah,
very few
very few.
exceptions.
Yes.
So to your question about if we need to change, it needs to
Mm-hmm.
start from like the roots. We need to start raising better men. We need to start raising better boys. We can't always give the excuse boys will be boys. He's a man, he's a boy, so he's supposed to play rough. The whole rhetoric of telling a little girl that boy is pulling on your head because he likes you. No, boys should be taught to be able to express themselves without using violence. Boys should be allowed to be vulnerable. A guy should be allowed to cry when he needs to. A guy, and he should not be like shamed. A man does not mean you don't have feelings or
Yes.
you don't feel emotions.
Mm-hmm.
So those are the things. Those are the things. That's how it starts. When you teach a guy that he's not supposed, so when he sees it in somebody else, even if it's a woman, his first thought is that this is a weakness. Why is she behaving like this?
Right. Continue with that conversation. Like you said, you know a lot of women that are feeling this way. How about when they also have male children, boys? Maybe they should also train them, because at the end of the day, they say charity begins at home. If they're not taught these values from when they are little, they will grow up to be what people don't like and what people are complaining about. Every human being was socialized. You're raised in a certain way. So um, if you're not raised right, then you're going to be acting in the wrong manner. I'm sure we'll circle back to this conversation in a few seconds, but
Okay.
let's start from the beginning. What do you think is the purpose of marriage? Like, what's the purpose of marriage in your own estimation?
It's procreation.
Procreation, but you don't need to marry to procreate.
That's what the society have said. I'm not talking about for me.
Yeah, I'm just
I'm
saying in
talking about like,
general as well. Yeah.
yeah, in general, the definition, like people look at it like you're supposed to be married. Like religious prescribe that you're supposed to be married to be able to
Hmm.
have kids. I know that you can have kids outside of marriage,
Yes.
but the whole point of marriage is like family name,
Hmm.
bringing together family wealth.
Yeah.
It's basically, like I said it at the beginning, it's basically transactional.
Hmm.
Families comes together. Back then, They look at, okay, is this person from a good family? What does this family do? And what does this family do? How can the marriage of our 2 children benefit our family going forward? It was
Yes.
always transaction. That was the purpose. Marriage can also fulfill like the need for companionship if it's done right,
Yes.
which if I were to get married, that would be the reason I want to get married for companionship.
Yeah.
But for me to achieve that, I have to find like the right partner that is more emotionally developed than most men are right now.
Mm-hmm.
So the
All
purpose
right.
of marriage to me is supposed to be companionship.
Companionship,
But
procreation,
that's
mainly.
how I'm
That's how
yes,
it's that's what
exactly.
it's meant to be. But then in the marriage, you have these gender roles. What do you think about gender roles currently as it is before we talk about what it could be? Like generally
Okay.
speaking, in African community,
It's not
what's
okay.
okay.
Okay, stay. Gender roles. How did
Yes.
this come about? We all know that our society in general is patriarchal. So it means from the beginning of time, men go out and hunt
Mm-hmm.
and come back and take care of the house. Women stay back home and take care of the home. That's how it
Yes.
has always. So
Yeah.
I think that's where the gender roles came from.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's different because both men and women go out to hunt. Both
Mm-hmm.
sexes work.
Yes.
So most men now, I was watching a podcast where a guy was having this conversation with another guy,
Mm.
and somebody called him, another man called him, and he was like, how can he go to work and come back and expecting him to still do stuff at home? So the man asked him that, does his wife work? And he said yes. So the man asked him, like, how do you expect your wife also to go to work and come back and do everything by herself while you're sitting down and watching television?
Mm.
So it doesn't make any sense how it is right now, because if the excuse is that you go home and you come back, you go out and you come back, the woman does the same thing.
Mm.
So when you go out and come back, you are expected to rest, but she can't rest. There's the home, there's the kids.
Yes.
You are preparing the kids for bed that evening. You are preparing them against tomorrow. And it's not just the kids. Like I said about, I will mention what you call weaponized incompetence. Most men, before they get married, their mom do everything for them, make doctor's appointment, everything. So when they get married, they turn everything over to their wives. They can't make a doctor's appointment themselves. They can't go to the shop. If the man has to go to the shop, the woman has to make the list.
Mm.
It goes so far that even when the men are in the shops, they have to call the women to make sure, what aisle do I go to, like grown-up person, to get this thing on the list. Like if I was not in your life, how would you survive? Like
All right. Okay.
those are the things I'm saying. Like the dynamic right now is like just crazy. And then one more thing before I stop talking about it. If you expect the woman to go to work and come back and take care of the kids, and then at night when she's tired and you want to like um engage her sexually, and she's tired, and then you be like she's not fulfilling her wifely duties.
Mm.
She's tired because she did everything at the home front,
Yes.
unpaid labor by the way, by
Yes.
herself without any help and input from you.
Okay. 2 points. The first point is men going out to work and women going out to work. It's not a new thing. It's been old. Even if you think about the African tradition, the men will go and hunt, women will go to farm, or women will go to market. Either ways, they've always been working. Both has been working to take care of the family. But yes, the onus has been on the women to raise more of the children and still cook and all of those things. So if this has been noticed throughout generations, why is it a problem now? Or why were people not talking about it then? Because like I said, there's nothing new. It's just different systems now. Instead of going to the farm or going to the market, it's now also going to the office. So it's basically the same thing, just in a different way. So what is the problem now? That was not a problem then.
Okay, we saw our parents, we saw
Hmm.
our mothers.
Yes.
I didn't notice that when a guy makes it, a man makes it in life,
Hmm.
who does it thank more? His mom for her sacrifices. Because they see the way their mothers toil,
Hmm.
they see the way their mothers suffer.
Hmm.
And then in some way, instead of them to like want better for their wives,
Hmm.
they want their wife to suffer the same thing, make the same sacrifices. I've seen women who age way quicker than the men they're married to, even though they're younger, because of the life of servitude they live. I've seen these same men turn around and accuse those women of letting themselves go, cheat on them, or discard them and marry a younger woman because, in their words, you let yourself go. But what is aging these women? They don't have the time to take care of themselves. Every single time they have, they're thinking about somebody else. My kids, my husband, the house, then the job. The man doesn't have all this. When a man cheats, I remember there was a case in Lagos in 2022 where a 50-year-old man was killed and an 18-year-old girl was accused of murdering him. His girlfriend, she was 18, he was 50. He's married with kids. Every man on the internet, even men I thought I respected, so my father's acquaintances that I no longer have any respect for, were posting stuff about how the little girl is the one that introduced the man to drugs. She's 18, you are 50. And first blame goes to the girl. And then the next thing they were saying was that it's because the wife was the CEO of one radio TV station in Lagos. So she became a modern woman and she abandoned her home duties. But same men will say, if you're a woman and you're looking for a man that will take care of you financially, you're a gold digger. Now they want 50-50 in bills. They don't want 50-50 in the comes. What do you want? You have to pick a lane. If you want a traditional wife, you have to be prepared to be a traditional man. I get to take care of all the bills. And shut up about it. Don't cry, complain, and start looking down on me because you can't do what I'm doing at home. If the roles were switched and you come and be houseman or house husband, you see how hard it is to be at home. Because when you go to job, you can clock in and clock out. At home, what are you going to leave your kids for? It's a 24-hour job. So it's not as easy as people think. So as much as people look at housewives as, can you imagine, she's a lazy woman, she has never worked. She has work. She has an unpaid job. She's not getting paid for it. So it's different. So imagine a woman. The fact that our mothers did it does not mean it's okay and we want to continue doing it. We don't want to go. I saw those things with people, some women around me. I saw that most of those women were not happy. And I don't want that life for myself. I appreciate their sacrifices. But things have to change. Things have to go. That's the difference now. We don't want that for our.
Okay. And speaking about men going to supermarkets and calling their wives for what aisle should they go, most men are doers. By that I mean they are tell me what to do and I will do it. They don't want to stress themselves. They want to do things as quickly and as efficiently as possible. If it's going to take them 3 hours to look for one thing in the supermarket, why don't I just call someone that knows where it is to tell me where it is so I can go and get it? Because it's exactly the same thing at work. When you go to work, you need something, you go to the person that knows where, that will give you information on what the thing is, and then you work with that information. I just think it's the same mentality when it comes to shopping or looking after kids, but I think you beg to differ.
No,
Yes.
when I go to the shop, like I went to Sainsbury's yesterday. I've never been to that. I don't know where anything is in that aisle. You know what I did? Their shop attendants, I asked, excuse me, I'm looking for so. Where do you think I can find this? You don't have to call me. You're going to figure it out to yourself.
Yeah.
I didn't know where anything was. I asked. There are people working there.
Yes. But now that you know where things are, won't you want to help someone else that don't know where the things are?
The person in the shop, that's his or her job to tell you where things are. If you don't know, you ask questions. You don't have to come. What if I'm busy? So there was a video recently that everybody was attacking the man online. He came online and posted a video. I don't know what he thought was going to happen. People are going to support him. He said his wife sent him to the store. She wants to make, I can't remember the exact meal, but it's something they eat often. What he wanted to buy was the main ingredients for whatever meal. I can't remember the name of the meal he wanted to buy.
Yeah.
They wanted to make. And then I think he saw like different types, or he was not sure he wasn't sure if they had it at home already or not. So he wanted to buy all the other ingredients. So she didn't write down, let me say I sent it to the market, I gave you a list. I didn't write down that tomato. And you're not sure if we have it at home or not. So she called her to find out, do we have, and you say you want to cook this. I noticed that this thing is not on the list. I'm calling to find out if we have it at home. She didn't pick her phone. He said he kept on calling a number of times. Then he was angry. And then he went home without it. He was not like, man, have you seen? This is what they tell you. People are not telling him that stuff doesn't go bad. It's something you can have in the house for 2 years and you can still reuse it. If
Mm.
this is something you eat often, like you just said,
Yeah.
as she did not pick her comb, all you had to do was just buy one can. If you have one at home, you have extra. If you don't have it, you'll be like, oh yeah, thank God I bought it.
What if he
So
doesn't have
you
money and he
omitted.
wants to buy exactly what he needs?
No, that's not his problem. This is not a what if scenario.
Mm.
He said he didn't want to buy in case they had it at home. People are like, that's not an excuse. If you had it at home, it's not something that will expire. So there was no excuse. He came to the internet to blast his wife and then he got an earful, which I like.
No problem. So what is the role of a man in a marriage now or in a relationship? Because a lot of people don't want to get married anymore. So what is the role of men in a relationship? What is it right now and how do you think it should be?
Okay, right now, men
Yes.
just think they are the boss. They feel like their role is when they pay bills at home, they're done. Let's even forget about people that have kids.
Mhm.
They don't want to support their wife emotionally, even talking to their wife. They'll be like, oh, she talks too much. When she starts talking, I tune her out.
Mm.
If my purpose of getting married is companionship,
Mhm.
I want to have a companion. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So that I should be free to be able to talk to you about stuff that is bothering me without you thinking, oh, yeah, you come again.
Mm.
Or you making me feel like I can't come to you and talk to you. I have to walk on eggshells around you because I don't know what will set you off because you're going to get mad that I'm bringing up something that is bothering me.
Mhm.
You understand?
Yeah.
So that emotional support, in my own opinion, that's what it's supposed to be like. If I'm there for you, you're there for me. I should be able to come to you when I need something. You should be able to do the same.
Mm.
That's what me I feel. So I want a partner, somebody I can do life with.
Mm.
It's not somebody that is going to think I'm a nuisance. A lot of women are thinking now that men don't like women.
Mhm.
Men prefer, I'm not talking about sexually.
Yeah.
I'm talking about like you liking a person as a person. Men don't like women. That's what most women think now.
Mm.
So men are with women because of the things we can do for them. Most of the time, if you ask a guy why he loves a woman, he's going to start listing the things she does for him.
Mhm.
That's how it is. That's the things he's going to love about her, not her person. It's about she does this for me, she takes care of the kids, she makes me feel, she does this. That's what the man is going to list.
But what if
That he loves.
what if that is what those men want from a relationship?
That's why we're saying that's not what we want anymore. Over many years, they will use the threat of you're going to die alone and be a cat lady, like an insult.
Mm.
Right now, if you tell me that, I'm telling you, like, don't threaten me with a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've been happiest by myself than I have been in any relationship I've ever been in.
Mm-hmm.
So you're telling me I'm going to be by myself in my own space with things organized the way I want it. How is that a threat? Oh my
Right.
Lord, that's heaven.
Mm.
Sounds like heaven. So a lot of women now are even saying that if they ever were to get married, they would prefer to have different apartments. They are married, but they would live separate lives. So
Sure.
there's a recent study I was talking about earlier in 2022 by the Signal Group report. Maybe anybody that's listening can look it up about this called the loneliness epidemic.
Mm.
So it says that 57% of men are lonely because most women now are opting out of relationships.
Mm.
And then they're complaining about it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, for that to change, the men have to be different for us to want them again.
Mm. So, quick question then. Does that mean that marriage only benefits men or relationship only benefits men and women don't really get much out of relationship, like generally speaking?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
There are some women that gain something from marriage,
Yeah.
but marriage is rigged to benefit the man.
Who is doing
It
who
starts
is
from
doing this
when
rigging?
the men have always been the head of society.
Mm.
The society has always been shaped by policies made by men. We start from colonialism. Who are the men that went for a meeting and sat on the table and divided? Who are the people that did that? Divided Africa and the rest of the world into where they're supposed to conquer? Men. Men have always done the policy making. Women had to fight for every right they had, like voting rights or owning land or owning a bank account. Women had to stand up and fight the men
Mm.
for the right to do these things. So everything we have in society, we say we blame society. We are blaming the man because they have always been in the leadership role. They have made the policies that we
Right.
have now. And they'll be like, as a man, you can't be vulnerable. Yes, because you made it like that. Men made it that way.
Yeah.
So if we are saying the men we have now, we don't want them, we have to be different. So, and do you know the funny thing? Men changing will help them also, because the rate of suicide is higher for men than women.
Yeah.
That's because a lot of men can't speak up when they are going through issues.
Yeah.
They can't talk to their friends. They can't talk to anybody because they will be seen less than.
Mm.
And then men also shame each other. Like when a man is seen to be doing well emotionally and taking care of his family like he should, other men call him a simp. Do you understand? And they call him a simp and they call him names. In Nigeria, you know the word, they'll say woman rapper. They'll mock you for stepping up and taking care of your home like you should. That's okay. So the study says that the risk of all these patriarchal values that have been ingrained in men is increased developmental issues like depression and anxiety, which is showing. That's why a lot of men commit suicide when they face pressures. We women, we have our support with our friends. We're allowed to be vulnerable. I can call my best friend right now and just talk to her about whatever and cry if I have to. I should be quiet and listen. Even if she disagrees with me, whatever I'm doing at that point, she knows I need her. She'll be quiet. Men don't do that for each other. Those things make you stronger. Life is hard. You need
support system.
all the a support system. I don't see why you alienate yourself and then you think that's the strong way to go. And then you expect the women to be that. No, we want something different.
Right. Fair enough. I'm going to pause the conversation here for now, and maybe we'll continue it as another episode. If you've liked what you've heard so far, if you've agreed or you've disagreed, please leave your comments in the comment section below on our social media. Also tell us if you have a different perspective to the one that you're hearing today. Tell us what's on your mind so that we can have a better society, because at the end of the day, we all need to be better.